cow.
The cow or something?
Yeah.
Cyclone Debbie hit with relentless ferocity. She stalked the coast, took aim and didn't miss. Debbie arrived late and was in no hurry to leave.
Dean Pastega, and we're located in Brightly, just west of Eaton. On about 350 hectares here. At the time it was pretty daunting. We hadn't seen water like that come through. There's a lot of rain up on the ranges above us, and probably within 2 hours or so we had normal rain event sort of flow in our drainage to full flow at record levels up around the sheds and the houses, and yeah, so it was pretty scary from that point of view. Cyclone Debbie on Tuesday morning when we woke up, it was some pretty powerful winds that were just sustained all day, and it was probably around 9 o'clock in the morning where we noticed normal sort of fast flowing water through the drains, normal flood water flows, and from about 2 hours after that is probably when we seen the peak level of water, and within about, I'd say from when we noticed rising water, we started moving stuff on the lower levels of the house up, and so by 11 o'clock was the peak, and then the rain sort of continued, and then by the afternoon it was back down to sort of normal flood levels around this area, so it was pretty quick for us, but we don't have any back water backing up. It was more flow from the ranges, so then it was just sustained wind for the rest of the day and continual rain. But the high flood levels around the farm, there's a lot of infrastructure damage for us with irrigation. We had a lot of electric irrigation pumps go underwater and centre pivot motors, and it's all stuff that doesn't like seeing water in it over time. So mainly for us it was infrastructure damage and fallow crops that copped it pretty bad. So we had a lot of soybean in at the time, and at that stage we were taking it to seed, so it was a pretty good price for soybean. And so probably 2 weeks out from harvest, and we lost a lot from that. And yeah, it doesn't like water over top of it, and a lot of running water creates a lot of damage. So also the cane crop, it's where we did have a lot of high flow, you've actually tipped stools, so we've got a lot of root damage. So it'll make it a difficult harvest this year, and next year's ratoon crop probably going to see effects of it as well. From then on, there'll be a lot of stool damage from the harvest there. So there is a fair bit when you start looking at it. Like the floodwater creates a lot of difficulties, and probably for the next couple of years you'll see effects of it. So, infrastructure point of view, I suppose it'll take a fair while, because the widespread damage in Queensland, and service providers have to deal with that. So it's not just up and running all of a sudden. So that, and it's probably changed cropping plans and say like groundwork and preparation, and there's things there that probably have to be done now that weren't going to be done, and we'll be back to normal from a face view sort of point of view, but it'll continue on for a while. There's a lot of cleanup involved, and we've come out of it pretty good. Some things, I suppose it depends on people's policies and how they are, but a lot of our infrastructure is covered in one way or another. Crops, that's a different thing when you start talking about insurance for flood on crop. It's pretty much, you've got to take it as it is. We're probably brought up in a generation that's more aware, I suppose, of the impacts of, because we've got that history, and there's a lot of information out there now that's accessible to our generation, and the impact that we can have on the environment, and in our case the reef. And we're in a pretty sensitive catchment area, so I've been brought up with Dad from the start of Project Catalyst. He was in the first group, and I've heard about it for a long time. So to see all the different things that they've done through the years, it's been pretty impressive. And I've only been to my first conference this year, so and it was good. And I guess for the younger growers, if this is a bit of an image that's put forward, and a mindset that can be set from early on, I think it's a good thing going forward for the industry. Oh, I think it's pretty crucial because the land's what you make your money out of, and if you don't look after the land's not going to look after you in a way. So I think it's just got to be onwards and upwards from here with looking after the land and the environment and everything that comes with it, because if we damage any of it, then it's only going to come back to negatively impact us. So I think it has to be passed on. It's not maybe, it has to.